Mission complete. All hostiles neutralized. Area secure. The SEAL team was packing up their gear when the radio crackled clear. To extract, no remaining threats. But 200 meters away, behind enemy lines, a woman in desert camouflage kept her rifle aimed. Safety off, round chambered, finger ready. The SEALs thought they were safe. She knew better. Because in her scope, she could see what they couldn't: movement in the shadows, death preparing to strike. 4 members of SEAL Team Bravo had just completed Operation Sand Viper in the remote desert regions of hostile territory. Their mission? Eliminate a high-value terrorist target who had been coordinating attacks against coalition forces for 18 months. The compound raid had gone perfectly according to plan. Breach, clear, eliminate, extract. Master Chief Rodriguez keyed his radio with satisfaction. Control, this is Bravo Leader. Primary objective eliminated. Secondary objectives complete. Area is secure for extraction. His team began their standard post-mission procedures. Weapons on safe, gear secured, evidence collected for intelligence analysis. Petty Officer Jenkins wiped sweat from his forehead. Clean operation, Chief. No casualties on our side. Rodriguez nodded with professional pride. Textbook execution. Intel was solid for once. The 4 SEALs moved toward their extraction point with practiced efficiency. They had conducted over 50 similar operations in this theater. This one felt routine now, but routine can be deadly in combat zones. 200 meters away, concealed in a bombed-out building that intelligence had marked as abandoned, Marine sniper Elena Vasquez maintained her overwatch position. She had been providing invisible security for the SEAL operation from the beginning, watching through her scope for over 6 hours, waiting, observing, ready to engage any threats that might emerge. Her mission orders were crystal clear. Maintain overwatch until SEALs reach extraction. Eliminate any hostile forces that attempt to interfere with the operation. Elena's M40A6 sniper rifle remained trained on the compound area. Safety off, round chambered, ready to fire within seconds. Through her high-powered scope, she methodically scanned the surrounding buildings for any signs of enemy movement or activity. The SEALs below considered the area completely secure. Their thermal imaging had shown no heat signatures. Their reconnaissance had identified no remaining threats. But Elena had learned never to trust technology alone. She relied on patience, instinct, experience. And right now, her instincts were screaming that something was wrong. A shadow moved in the wrong direction. A reflection caught sunlight at an impossible angle. A piece of debris shifted without wind to move it. Elena adjusted her scope focus and increased magnification. There. 3rd floor window of the eastern building. Movement confirmed. A figure in local clothing but carrying military equipment. AK-47 assault rifle. Tactical vests underneath civilian clothes. The hostile was positioning himself with a clear line of sight to the SEAL extraction point. Elena keyed her throat microphone. Overwatch to Bravo Leader. Possible hostile contact. Eastern building, 3rd floor. Static. No response. She tried again. Bravo Leader, this is Overwatch. Do you copy? Still nothing. Radio malfunction or jamming. The SEALs continued toward extraction, completely unaware of the threat developing above them. Elena made quick calculations. Distance to target, 180 meters. Wind speed, minimal. Elevation angle, slight upward trajectory required. The hostile was raising his weapon now.
taking aim at Rodriguez, who was walking point toward the landing zone. Elena controlled her breathing, heart rate steady, muscle memory taking over. She had two choices: take the shot without authorization and risk exposing her position to other potential hostiles, or watch 4 Navy SEALs die in an ambush they never saw coming. For Elena, it wasn't really a choice. Her finger moved from the trigger guard to the trigger itself. The hostile's rifle was almost in firing position now. Elena whispered to herself, "Mission first, people always." Time slowed. Training took over. Everything else disappeared except the mathematics of a perfect shot. The SEALs called it safe. But Elena still had a round chambered, and she was about to use it. They trust their technology, their protocols, their procedures. I trust my eyes, my training, my willingness to pull the trigger when everyone else thinks the danger is past. Elena Vasquez had been a Marine sniper for 8 years. 2 tours in Afghanistan, 1 deployment in Iraq. 47 confirmed kills. 0 friendly casualties on her watch. She was known in special operations circles as the insurance policy, the sniper who stayed in position long after everyone else declared missions complete. Her philosophy was simple: threats don't disappear just because you stop looking for them. Through her scope, Elena could see the hostile's face clearly now. Young man, maybe 25 years old. Beard, intense eyes. The look of someone with nothing to lose. His finger was moving toward the trigger of his AK-47. Rodriguez was 15 meters from the extraction point, completely exposed, no cover available. Elena made her final adjustments. Crosshairs centered on the hostile's upper chest, breathing controlled, trigger finger applying steady pressure. Crack! The sound of her M40A6 echoed across the desert landscape. The hostile dropped instantly. His rifle clattered to the floor of the abandoned building. Rodriguez spun around, immediately taking defensive position. "Sniper fire! Take cover!" The SEAL team scattered, seeking whatever concealment they could find in the open terrain. Jenkins shouted, "Where is it coming from?" Elena keyed her backup radio frequency. "Bravo leader, this is Guardian Angel. Hostile neutralized. You're cleared to continue extraction." Rodriguez's voice crackled back. "Guardian Angel? Who is this? Identify yourself." "Marine sniper, providing overwatch. Threat eliminated. Check Eastern Building 3rd floor, if you want confirmation." Through her scope, Elena watched as Thompson, the team's reconnaissance specialist, used his binoculars to examine the building she had indicated. Thompson reported, "Confirmed hostile down. AK had a clear shot at our position. Someone just saved our lives." Rodriguez was scanning the horizon. "Guardian Angel, what's your position? We need visual confirmation." Elena smiled grimly. She had no intention of revealing her location. That wasn't how ghost snipers operated. "Negative. Bravo leader, maintaining concealment. You're clear for extraction. No additional threats detected." But Elena lied about that last part. Through her scope, she had identified 2 more potential hostiles moving through the compound ruins. They were responding to the sound of her gunshot, trying to locate her position. The SEALs couldn't see them from ground level, but from Elena's elevated position, she had perfect visibility of their movement patterns. The second hostile emerged from behind a concrete wall, carrying an RPG launcher. Elena adjusted her aim. Different angle, longer distance, more challenging shot. Crack. The RPG operator dropped before he could acquire a target. The third hostile immediately took cover, but Elena had already tracked his movement. She could see his boot protruding from behind a pile of rubble. She waited. Patience was a sniper's greatest weapon. Sure enough, the hostile eventually moved to get a better view of the area. The moment he exposed his torso, Elena fired her third shot. Another clean kill. Rodriguez's voice came through the radio. "Guardian Angel, we count 3 additional shots. What's your status?" 3 additional threats neutralized. Area now actually secure for extraction. Elena continued scanning through her scope. No further movement detected. No additional heat signatures visible through her thermal attachment. The extraction team was approaching now. She could hear the distinctive sound of rotor blades in the
Distance. Rodriguez made one final transmission. Guardian Angel, we owe you our lives. Request permission to meet you for proper debrief. Elena was already packing her equipment. Her mission was complete, but she followed strict protocols about maintaining operational security. Negative, Bravo. Leader Ghost protocols in effect. Glad you made it home safe. As the helicopter landed and the SEALs boarded for extraction, Elena completed her own withdrawal from the area. She moved carefully through the ruins, avoiding the routes the SEALs had used. Her training emphasized leaving no trace of her presence. But as she prepared to leave, Elena made a discovery that changed everything. In the compound's main building, she found evidence of a much larger operation. Maps, communications equipment, intelligence documents in multiple languages. This hadn't been a simple terrorist cell. This was a coordinated network planning multiple attacks across the region. And according to the documents she photographed, the operation the SEALs had just completed was supposed to be a trap. The terrorist they had eliminated was bait. The real plan was to ambush the SEAL team during extraction and capture them alive for propaganda purposes. Elena's intervention had prevented not just 4 deaths, but an international incident that could have compromised multiple ongoing operations. She photographed all the intelligence materials and uploaded them through encrypted channels to Marine Intelligence Command. Her after-action report was simple. Mission successful. 4 friendly personnel protected. Additional intelligence gathered. No Marine casualties. But Elena knew the truth was more complicated. She had made split-second decisions without authorization, had engaged hostile targets without confirmation from command, had potentially compromised her own position to protect people she had never met. By military regulations, her actions could be considered insubordination. By the code she lived by, her actions were exactly what any Marine would do. Semper Fi meant always faithful. Faithful to the mission, faithful to fellow service members. Most importantly, faithful to the principle that good people deserve to go home alive. Elena disappeared into the desert, her rifle slung across her back, knowing that she had done exactly what needed to be done. The SEALs would file their reports, intelligence would analyze her photographs, command would debate her methods, but 4 Navy SEALs were alive because a Marine sniper kept a round chambered when everyone else called it safe. The mission isn't over when command says it's over. The mission is over when I'm certain no one else will die because I stopped watching too soon. 72 hours after the operation, Master Chief Rodriguez was called into a classified debriefing at the Joint Operations Center. Present were representatives from Navy, Special Warfare Command, Marine Intelligence, and the Central Intelligence Agency. The lead investigator, Commander Hayes, opened with a direct question. "Chief Rodriguez, tell us about Guardian Angel." Rodriguez leaned forward. "Unknown Marine snipers saved our lives.
professional, precise, refused to identify herself or reveal position herself. Hayes raised an eyebrow. Voice analysis suggested female, but I can't be certain. Communication was brief and tactical, only tactical. The CIA representative, Agent Morrison, slid a folder across the table. The intelligence your guardian angel provided has been invaluable. These documents revealed a network of planned attacks across 3 countries. Rodriguez opened the folder. Photographs of maps, communication logs, financial records, far more comprehensive than anything his team had time to collect during their raid. Hayes continued, "According to these materials, your entire operation was designed as a trap. The terrorist you eliminated was expendable. The real objective was capturing your team alive. For what purpose?" Morrison answered, "Propaganda, ransom demands, intelligence extraction, the usual terrorist playbook for high-value prisoners." Rodriguez felt cold realization wash over him. His team had walked into what should have been a death trap. Hayes pulled up tactical imagery on the briefing room screen. "Satellite data shows your guardian angel was positioned here." He pointed to the bombed-out building. "Perfect overwatch of the entire compound. She had been in position for over 8 hours before your team arrived." 8 hours. How do you know that? "Thermal imaging satellites. We can track heat signatures retroactively. She arrived at 0300 hours. Your operation began at 11 hours. Rodriguez was impressed despite himself. 8 hours in hostile territory, maintaining perfect concealment, waiting for a mission she wasn't officially part of? Morrison leaned back in his chair. "What's interesting is that there's no record of any Marine sniper being assigned to support your operation." "What do you mean?" Hayes explained, "Your mission was classified, Navy Special Warfare only. No other service branches were briefed or assigned support roles." "So who the hell was she?" The room fell silent for a moment. Morrison and Hayes exchanged glances. Finally, Hayes spoke. "We believe your guardian angel was operating under what we call ghost protocols. Unauthorized protective overwatch conducted by special operations personnel who take it upon themselves to provide security for high-risk missions." Rodriguez had heard rumors of ghost protocols, elite snipers who tracked special operations missions and provided invisible support without official authorization. It was theoretically against regulations, but it had saved countless lives over the years. Morrison continued, "We've identified several similar incidents over the past 2 years. Marine sniper providing unexplained support for SEAL, Delta Force, and CIA operations." "Same person?" "We believe so. Always female voice. Always perfect tactical execution. Always disappears without leaving evidence." Hayes pulled up more satellite imagery. "She's been providing ghost support across multiple theaters of operation: Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, North Africa, always in areas where American Special Operations Forces are conducting high-risk missions." Rodriguez studied the data. The pattern was clear. Wherever American forces were in danger, guardian angels seemed to appear. "Have you tried to identify her?" Morrison nodded. "Cross-reference with all active Marine snipers. Several possibilities, but none match the operational patterns perfectly." "Why not just ask Marine Command for her identity?" Hayes smiled grimly. "Because officially, Marine Command has no record of any Marine sniper conducting these operations." The implication was clear. Guardian Angel was operating completely outside official channels. No orders, no authorization, no support. Just the Marine sniper who had decided that protecting American forces was more important than following bureaucratic procedures. Rodriguez respected that kind of dedication, but he also understood the risks involved. What happens now? Morrison closed his folder. Officially, nothing. Your mission was successful. Intelligence was gathered. No American casualties. Case closed. And unofficially? Hayes leaned forward. Unofficially, we'd like Guardian Angel to know that her actions are appreciated. The intelligence she provided has already prevented 2 other planned attacks. How do you contact someone who doesn't officially exist? We don't, but we monitor communications frequencies she's used before. If she's listening, she'll know that her work matters. Rodriguez stood to leave, but Morrison stopped him. Chief, one more thing. The documents Guardian Angel recovered included detailed intelligence about terrorist cells planning attacks on military families in the United States. Rodriguez's blood ran cold. His own family lived on base in Virginia. Morrison continued. Thanks to her intelligence, FBI was able to arrest 4 individuals
who were planning car bomb attacks on base housing areas. The full impact hit Rodriguez. Guardian Angel hadn't just saved his life and his team, she had potentially saved his wife and children. Hayes added, the ripple effects of her actions will save lives for months, maybe years to come. Rodriguez left the briefing with a new understanding of what Guardian Angel represented. She wasn't just a rogue sniper operating outside the system. She was a guardian in the truest sense of the word. Someone who had dedicated her life to protecting others, regardless of personal risk or official recognition. That evening, Rodriguez sat in his quarters and composed a message on the encrypted frequency. Guardian Angel, this is Bravo Leader. Intel reports your intelligence saved multiple operations and prevented attacks on American soil. My team and our families owe you more than we can express. Semper Fi. He transmitted the message, not knowing if anyone would receive it. 2 days later, his radio crackled with a brief response. Mission first, people always. Stay safe out there, Bravo Leader. Rodriguez never heard from Guardian Angel again, but he carried her words with him for the rest of his career. And sometimes, during the most dangerous operations in the most hostile territories, he would look up at the ridgelines and wonder if someone was watching over them. Someone with the round chambered, ready to fire, when everyone else thought it was safe. The invisible warrior who understood that the mission isn't complete until everyone makes it home. Comment Ghost Protocols if you believe some heroes work best when they remain invisible. Word of Guardian Angels spread quietly through special operations communities, not through official channels or written reports, but through whispered conversations in secure facilities around the world. SEAL teams began reporting similar incidents. Delta Force operators shared stories of impossible shots from unknown positions. CIA operatives described miraculous saves from invisible overwatch. Always the same pattern. Female voice on emergency frequencies. Perfect tactical execution. Disappearance without trace. The stories became legend, but legends based on documented saves and verified kills. At Marine Scout Sniper School in Quantico, instructors began teaching a new exercise called Ghost Overwatch Protocol. The scenario was simple. Protect a team conducting operations without revealing your position or compromising your concealment. Students were taught to think beyond their immediate mission, to consider what threats might emerge after official operations concluded. Instructor Gunnery Sergeant Miller would end each training session with the same question: when is the mission complete? The correct answer wasn't when objectives were achieved. It wasn't when teams reached extraction points. The correct answer was when everyone is safe. This philosophy began changing how Marine snipers approach their assignments. Instead of viewing missions as finite operations with clear start and end points, they learned to think in terms of continuous protective presence.
Some graduates requested assignments that allowed for maximum operational flexibility, positions that didn't tie them to specific units or geographical locations. These Marines became part of an unofficial network, ghost snipers, who monitored special operations worldwide and provided invisible support when needed. They developed their own communication protocols, their own intelligence sharing networks, their own methods for tracking high-risk operations that might require additional security. It was completely outside official military structure, but it was saving lives. Elena Vasquez had unknowingly started a movement. Her decision to maintain Overwatch when everyone else called it safe had inspired an entire generation of snipers to think differently about their responsibilities. But Elena herself remained focused on immediate missions rather than larger implications. 6 months after the SEAL operation, she was positioned on a rooftop in Eastern Europe, providing overwatch for a CIA extraction team. The operation involved rescuing an American journalist who had been captured while investigating human trafficking networks. Official intelligence suggested minimal resistance. The extraction team expected a simple grab-and-go operation. Elena had been watching the target building for 12 hours. She had identified multiple inconsistencies with the intelligence reports. Too many civilians in the area. Too much radio chatter from supposedly abandoned buildings. Too many vehicles moving in coordinated patterns. Through her scope, she watched the CIA team approach the building. 4 operatives, professional, confident, completely unaware they were walking into an ambush. Elena keyed her radio. "Extraction team, this is Guardian Overwatch. Recommend holding position for additional reconnaissance." The team leader responded, "Negative. Guardian intelligence shows all clear. We're proceeding with extraction." Elena sighed. She'd heard those exact words before, right before everything went wrong. She maintained her position and continued scanning for threats. Sure enough, as the extraction team entered the building, Elena spotted movement in 3 surrounding structures. Armed individuals taking positions with clear lines of sight to the target building. The journalist extraction was a trap, just like the SEAL operation had been. Elena began making range calculations to multiple targets: distance, wind speed, elevation, angles. Her radio crackled. "Guardian, this is extraction team leader. We've got the package moving to extraction point." Through her scope, she could see the first hostile raising an RPG launcher. She adjusted her aim and controlled her breathing. The SEALs had called it safe. Now the CIA team was calling it safe. But Elena still had a round chambered, and she was about to prove once again that safe is relative. Comment: never safe if you understand that threats don't end when missions officially complete. Elena fired 4 shots in rapid succession. 4 hostiles eliminated before they could engage the CIA extraction team. The team reached their helicopter without ever knowing how close they had come to disaster. Another successful ghost operation. Another group of Americans who went home safe because someone stayed vigilant when everyone else relaxed. Elena packed her equipment and began her withdrawal from the area. But as she moved through the European streets, she received an encrypted message on her secure device. Guardian protocols, officially recognized. New assignment, available, interested. The message was from Marine Special Operations Command. After months of investigation, they had finally identified her. Instead of facing disciplinary action, she was being offered a new position. Commander of the newly created Ghost Overwatch Division. Official authorization to conduct protective operations for high-risk special operations missions worldwide. A team of 12 elite Marine snipers, unlimited operational flexibility, direct access to intelligence from all service branches. The unofficial network she had inspired was becoming an official military capability. Elena considered the offer carefully. Official recognition meant resources, support, the ability to save more lives. But it also meant bureaucracy, oversight, the possibility that politics might interfere with life-saving decisions. She typed a response. Respectfully decline command position. Request assignment as lead field operative. Translation?
She wanted to stay on the trigger, to remain the invisible guardian watching over operations from impossible positions. Command accepted her terms. Elena Vasquez became the first officially recognized ghost sniper in military history. Her new call sign? Chambered, because she was always ready when others thought the danger had passed. Over the next 3 years, Elena and her team provided overwatch for over 200 special operations. 0 American casualties on operations where ghost protocols were employed. 47 additional hostile threats eliminated after official missions were declared complete. Multiple international incidents prevented through intelligence gathered during extended overwatch periods. The Ghost Protocol became standard procedure for high-risk operations. Every SEAL team, Delta Force unit, and CIA operation now had invisible guardian angels watching from concealed positions. Elena never sought recognition or awards. She measured success differently. Every American service member who made it home safely was worth more than any medal. Every family that didn't receive a folded flag was validation of her mission. Every operation that ended with everyone alive was proof that staying vigilant saved lives. The SEAL still called it safe when missions appeared complete, but Elena and her team always kept rounds chambered because they understood a fundamental truth about special operations. The most dangerous moment is when you think the danger has passed, and someone needs to be watching, always watching, ready to fire when everyone else thinks it's safe. If stories of invisible heroes resonate with you, leave a comment and subscribe to Ironheart Stories. We honor the warriors who protect from the shadows. Real stories, real heroes, real sacrifice. Share this if you believe the best guardians are the ones you never see.